Hi, I'm Ange and welcome to Mat Time, where we talk about all things early childhood. Today our guest joins us for the very first time in New Zealand, all the way from Holland, the director and founder of Marte Meo International, Marie Aarts. Welcome to New Zealand, Maria.
Thank you. It is indeed my first time and I enjoyed it already.
Fantastic.
I work already 10 years in Australia, but I never was to New Zealand.
So today we've got the privilege to have you here to talk to us about Marte Meo. Can you tell us a bit about what Marte Meo is and how it came about?
Yeah. In 1974, when I was young, I worked in an institution, and that was an institution for child psychiatry. The children lived with us 24 hours a day. And I was working there as a young therapist. And I thought, that's good. I can work very well with these children. They love me. I understand them better and better. I learned to know them. So I was rather satisfied. Young and naive, you think that's it. Until a mama came to visit a little autistic boy on a Sunday afternoon. The parents came to visit their children. And she saw that I was able to come in contact with him. And then she started to cry. She said, Maria, that's my little son. I'm his mom. When you know how to get in contact with an autistic child, why don't you teach me? And that is the start from Marte Meo. And the mama said something very beautiful, what I later used for the government in the Netherlands to give me permission to work in a different way. The mama said, I've time enough, I've love enough, I've energy enough, motivation enough. The only thing what I'm missing is information, how to bring up an autistic child. When you know, why don't you share that information with me? And then I thought I go to visit the families, to go to have a look. How could these people use the information about what I have? So I went there and discovered very quick that when we as professionals, when I listened in the meetings to psychiatrists, pediatricians, psychologists, that they talk so abstract. So they said, this child needs structure. But the mama was so clever to say, what do you mean exactly, Maria? How must I give structure? When must I give structure? And why do you ask me? And that's why I developed when, what, and why in my advice system.
And so would you say that information is at the core of the philosophy behind Marte Meo?
Exactly. Information for parents and people on the work floor that is understandable and usable in everyday interaction moments, but what supports the development. So I needed to find out per family, per parent, per child, information what could fit to them. So I understood very quick I must go deeper in the information level, not to give them specific advice, but knowledge about supporting developmental processes. So I started to do interaction analysis from normal developmental processes.
And so you've told us now a bit about Marte Meo. We'd love to see some examples of this in practice. Are you able to show us?
Yes, I think 2 clips should be good to show a little bit of Marte Meo. Marte Meo, of course, is as broad as life is, so there are many, many things. But I would like to show you something of my new production. It's The Golden Gift.
Fantastic.
One of the questions or wishes what parents asked me a lot in the parent evenings, when parent-to-be, they said, we hope our children get along with each other very well when they get a second child. That's the hope what all the parents have, when they get along. And then I always made a joke, I say, then you must do more than hoping. And I show you one example of a lot of examples. How can you help a child who was already in the family? This child is 3.5. Help her to learn to know the baby and go to be not only one-to-one communication, but you are now with the 4 of you. So this is one example. This we call the little baby has a contact initiative to mama. She shows I would like to kiss you. We always check in families, do parents see the contact initiatives of their child? Because I think there are 2 things in bringing up children very important. The one thing is following the initiatives. Every child is born with a gold mine. And the gold mine is in your belly, your interest, your talent. And your parents could learn to know that when they wait, we call it attentive waiting, wait for the initiatives. And the child shows, I'm interested in that, and you follow it, and you think, she's always interested in the sound of the birds. When you say, you hear the birds again, the child feels, I can trust my initiatives.
And so at what age do you think you could start identifying?
Very early. You can start with the second day after birth.
Wow.
Oh yes, really. Children show already all kind of interest for hearing something, seeing something. When parents turn with their head together with the child, where the child is looking at, and they guide it with language, the child gets a confirmation to trust what comes here from your gold mine. That's your personality. In that way, parents learn to know the personality of their children. And another way, when you name it with nice tones, they feel a confirmation. I can trust it. Even my mama enjoys it. And sometimes nowadays I see parents who do such lovely things to their children and invest so much energy. And I always say, yes, that's very good. Oh, and she loves it. I say, yes. But the only thing she can learn in this moment, what a lovely parents do I have. But the other part, how lovely am I? When I invest something, I make a sound. And when the parents repeat that sound, you get back, hey, I have something to say. So following the initiative of your child is a very important thing to help the child to develop an inside life. And life is just like fits to her talent, to her interest, to her energy level, to her character. And you learn to know it by following the initiative of a child. Parents and daycare workers, it should be good when they learn to wait, attentive waiting, and let the child come with its play idea, and then mention it by naming, saying, you took the car, or the car drives over the bridge. The child develops a very important play skill, naming your play ideas. When you name what you do, you have a social invitation to other children to join you. Yes. So when we see children who hit other children and all this kind of behavior, we read the developmental message behind that problem behavior. We understand then he did not develop yet the play skills he needs to play in a nice way with other children. And then corrections don't work because he didn't develop a model. But we go to, with my developmental checklist and my basic manual, we go to look at when the child plays with another child, what did he not develop yet? I showed at the conference a beautiful example from a little boy, Damien, who was hitting other children, pushing, not knowing what to do when he plays, so nobody wants to play with him anymore. And how we helped him when he did do something. They named what he was doing, and more he got trust in his own ideas and developed words with it. We also invited the parents to join us. So the parents said, oh, can we do that at home too? And then we don't share the problems of the boy. So we don't say to the parents, come in, he is hitting, he is pushing, he doesn't play, he doesn't have play ideas. But we only share in our Marte Meo Parent Invitation Program, we only share the information how to support his next step in the development. It's much more positive, it's much more inviting. So to this mama and papa, we just said, do you know, he's very interested in other children. His next developmental step should be that he has a play idea and that he can name his play ideas. So, and then at the daycare or the preschool and at home, he gets that same support. So you share that information, you see at once how quick he started to trust more his initiative, and also his papa, instead of taking over, waited for what is he going to do, naming it. And nature, I always think I analyze the nature. Because the nature is so clever that not only he gets words, but when papa say, you make that bridge, then he gets the information, my papa loves my ideas. Then I can carry them with me to the preschool, because when my papa believes in my idea, I can trust better my ideas. And then you name what the child is doing, so the child gets words, but also the child gets a registration. What am I doing? When you say, you're picking up the ball, oh, you do. So you help her to build a play story, but based on her own ideas. When she thinks, oh yeah, I got that. And then she gets an idea to put, you go to put it in the corner. She says, oh, I have ideas with my ball. And when you say the whole time what she can do with the ball, and she is on daycare, she thinks, where's my mama with her ideas? So, but I shall go back to this little clip where you see a contact initiative and mama is kissing her. And how does mama help? That the other child can be involved. Look, I love so much that mama makes one step backwards to make space for the relationship of the two of them. That's a very important thing, making space. What we do is having this clip and we use the same information to restore developmental processes. When that did not work out, the children get along very well in families, we go to check if the parents do this kind of behavior to support that, learning to know each other. I shall explain that later one more time. And look, the baby and the bigger sister, she's nearly 4, go to kiss, but look in the right corner. Mama's totally with the kissing. She doesn't think, let them do. And when I worked with a professor in the University of Bergen about mentalization, he immediately said, oh, Maria, that clip I could use to show exactly what mentalization is. The mama doesn't think, let the two do, but she's totally with it. Yeah. Huh? And look. Okay. This is such a lovely moment. The little baby, she is a very humoristic one. And in Germany it's Alban. What does mama do? In the moment that the baby shows her character, mama highlights it for the bigger girl. And she says, Alban is she. So she is a humoristic person. And the bigger girls think, yeah, that's the baby. So mama helps the bigger girl to learn to know the baby, all kind of moments per day better. And we know learning to know each other is the start of love and care. And some people know that and do it already, and other people have questions about it. When you can give such a natural model, and mama think I go to try that out. I go now to highlight more what in the other child is going on, so that the other develops empathy, and what's going on in the other child, but also the other way around. Then the children get per day a practice to go into the world of the other person. Instead of only be occupied, what do I want? And a lot of parents say, don't disturb me, I'm now busy with the baby, you go to play and later I come to play with you. But it's, of course, sometimes a good solution, but you are missing the opportunity to help them to learn to know each other. So I would like to show a little bit from another clip. So people, this was very short interview. When people have afterwards questions about this, Storypark has an idea to take care that the most asked questions, I go to answer these questions in podcasts. So I think about 6 questions, what are mostly asked. I go to answer these questions in the